Imagine sitting down to a delicious family dinner, feeling confident about your heart health instead of worried about what you're eating. Picture yourself enjoying flavorful meals that actually support your cardiovascular system, while you create precious memories with the people you love most. I'm Dr. Grant, and in my 25 years as an emergency physician, I've helped thousands of seniors stay out of the ER by making simple, evidence-based changes to what's already sitting in their kitchen spice rack. No special ordering required. I understand how much this matters to you. Many of my patients share this same desire, to support their heart health naturally while still enjoying delicious food. It's completely natural to want both protection and pleasure from what you eat. Today, I want to share 4 common spices that research suggests may help support healthy blood pressure and circulation. These aren't exotic ingredients. They're simple spices you can find in any grocery store. This is absolutely achievable, and by the end of this, you'll have practical, research-backed approaches to support your heart naturally. Let's begin. Let me start with turmeric, that vibrant golden spice you might recognize from curry dishes. Now you might think of it as just a flavorful cooking ingredient. But here's what research from the University of Colorado has shown me about this remarkable spice and your cardiovascular health. Most people sprinkle turmeric into their food and assume they're getting the benefits. But here's the thing. Your body actually absorbs very little of turmeric's active compounds when used this way. It's like having a key that almost fits the lock. The good news is that researchers have discovered exactly how to unlock turmeric's potential for supporting heart health. What makes this particularly exciting for people in their 70s and beyond is that the most significant studies focused specifically on adults between 45 and 74 years old. These weren't 20-somethings in a lab. These were people just like you, looking for natural ways to support their cardiovascular wellness. I had a patient who came to see me when she was 72. She was concerned about her cardiovascular health because her doctor had mentioned that her arteries were becoming stiffer and her blood pressure readings were occasionally elevated. She was taking her prescribed medications faithfully, but wanted to know if there were natural approaches she could add to support her heart health. She had tried adding turmeric to her cooking after reading about its benefits online, but she wasn't seeing any noticeable changes after 2 months. That's when I explained the absorption challenge to her. We worked together to create a proper turmeric routine that included the key elements for bioavailability. After 3 months of incorporating turmeric correctly into her daily routine, alongside continuing her prescribed medications, she returned for her follow-up appointment with her cardiologist. Her vascular function measurements had improved, and she reported feeling more energetic during her daily walks with her granddaughter. What impressed me most wasn't just the objective measurements, but how she felt. She told me she had more confidence in her body's ability to support her active lifestyle. She was sleeping better and felt less anxious about her cardiovascular health. Mary's experience reminded me that when we support our bodies with research-backed approaches, the benefits often extend beyond what we can measure in a doctor's office. Here's exactly how to use turmeric effectively for potential cardiovascular support. The key is solving the bioavailability puzzle that most people miss. Start with high-quality turmeric powder. Look for organic varieties with at least 5% curcumin content. You'll want approximately 1 teaspoon daily, which provides roughly 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin equivalent. Create a golden milk ritual. In a small saucepan, gently warm 1 cup of your preferred milk. Dairy, coconut, or almond all work well. Add 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil or grass-fed butter, and a touch of honey for taste. Warm for 5 minutes, stirring gently. The fat helps absorption, while the piperine in black pepper dramatically enhances bioavailability. Timing matters. Take this 30 minutes before or after meals for optimal absorption. Many of my patients enjoy this as a soothing evening ritual, finding it helps them relax before bed. Store whole turmeric root in your refrigerator for up to 3 weeks. or freeze pieces in small bags for up to 6 months. Fresh turmeric can be grated directly into the golden milk recipe. If choosing supplements, look for those that include piperine or are specifically formulated for enhanced absorption. Remember to start gradually. Some people experience mild stomach upset if they begin with large amounts. Begin with half portions for the first week, then increase to the full amount as your body adjusts. The key with turmeric is understanding that preparation method makes all the difference. When you combine it properly with black pepper and healthy fats, research suggests you're giving your cardiovascular system a natural tool that may help support healthy circulation and manage inflammation. This foundation of anti-inflammatory support becomes even more powerful when you add our next spice, one that research shows may help support healthy blood pressure levels in a completely different way. While turmeric works on inflammation and vessel function, cinnamon appears to offer its own unique cardiovascular benefits that complement what we've just discussed. This brings me to cinnamon, and I'm not talking about those sugar-loaded pastries or commercial cinnamon rolls. I'm referring to real, quality cinnamon that research suggests may help support healthy blood pressure levels in ways that might surprise you. Most people think of cinnamon as just a sweet flavoring, but here's what recent meta-analysis research has revealed about this warming spice and cardiovascular health. When researchers looked at data from multiple studies involving people with elevated blood pressure, they found some remarkable patterns that deserve your attention. The key insight that many people miss is that not all cinnamon is created equal. There are actually 2 main types, and choosing the right one could make a significant difference in both safety and potential benefits. What makes this particularly relevant for people over 70 is that the most impressive blood pressure results were observed in individuals who already had elevated readings. Exactly the population that could benefit most from natural support approaches. A comprehensive meta-analysis examining multiple randomized controlled trials found that cinnamon supplementation may help support healthy blood pressure levels, particularly in individuals with existing elevated readings. The research suggests that people with hypertension who used cinnamon properly experienced an average reduction of 8.7 millimeters of mercury in systolic pressure and 6.1 millimeters of mercury in diastolic pressure. To put this in perspective, many doctors consider a reduction of 5 millimeters of mercury clinically meaningful. The mechanism appears to work through cinnamaldehyde, cinnamon's primary active compound, which research suggests may help support the relaxation of blood vessel walls, essentially helping your circulatory system work more efficiently. Here's the crucial distinction most people don't know. There are 2 main types of cinnamon available. Cassia cinnamon, commonly found in grocery stores, contains higher levels of coumarin, a compound that can be problematic in large amounts over time. Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, contains significantly lower coumarin levels and appears to be safer for regular use. Studies using Ceylon cinnamon at doses of 1.5 grams daily for 90 days showed not only potential blood pressure support, but also improvements in cholesterol profiles. Research suggests these effects may work synergistically. As circulation improves, multiple cardiovascular markers may benefit. The timeline for potential benefits appears to be around 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use, though individual responses can vary considerably. I remember working with a gentleman in his 70s who came to me concerned about his blood pressure readings. He'd been monitoring them at home, and they were consistently running around 145/92, what we call stage 1 hypertension. His cardiologist had mentioned that if the numbers didn't improve over the next few months, they'd likely need to add another medication to his current regimen. This gentleman was already taking 1 blood pressure medication and really preferred to explore natural approaches before adding more prescriptions. He was particularly interested in dietary changes that might help support his cardiovascular health, alongside his medical treatment. We discussed incorporating Ceylon cinnamon into his daily routine, and he decided to add it to his morning oatmeal and afternoon coffee. He was diligent about monitoring his blood pressure and continued taking his prescribed medication exactly as directed. Over the course of 3 months, his home blood pressure readings gradually improved to an average of 138/86. While still elevated, this represented meaningful progress that his cardiologist acknowledged positively. What pleased him most was feeling more confident about his ability to support his health through thoughtful food choices. The gentleman reported that he actually enjoyed the ritual of adding cinnamon to his meals. It made him feel like he was actively participating in his healthcare, rather than just taking medications passively. Here's exactly how to incorporate cinnamon for potential cardiovascular support. The key is choosing the right type and using it consistently. Start with Ceylon cinnamon, which you can find at health food stores, or order online from reputable spice companies. Look for organic ground Ceylon cinnamon or whole Ceylon cinnamon sticks that you can grind fresh. The research suggested amount is approximately 1.5 grams daily. That's about half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Here's how to make this practical. Add a 1/4 teaspoon to your morning coffee or tea. The warm liquid helps release the beneficial compounds. Another 1/4 teaspoon can go into oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies. If you prefer evening routines, sprinkle it on sliced apples or add to herbal tea. For better absorption, pair cinnamon with foods containing healthy fats like nuts, avocado, or a splash of milk. The fat helps your body absorb the beneficial compounds more effectively. Consistency matters more than large amounts. Research suggests that regular moderate intake over weeks and months may be more beneficial than sporadic large doses. For an alcohol-free evening ritual, create cinnamon tea by simmering 1 Ceylon cinnamon stick in 2 cups of water for 10 minutes. Add a slice of fresh ginger and a teaspoon of honey if desired. This provides approximately 0.5 grams of cinnamon per cup. Store ground Ceylon cinnamon in an airtight container away from light and heat to preserve its potency. Whole sticks can last up to 2 years when stored properly. The key with cinnamon is choosing the Ceylon variety and incorporating it consistently into foods you already enjoy. Research suggests that when used properly, cinnamon may help support healthy blood pressure levels as part of an overall heart-healthy approach. Now, while cinnamon works on blood pressure through vessel relaxation, our next spice takes a completely different approach to cardiovascular support. I want to share what research reveals about garlic. Not just the fresh cloves you cook with, but a specific form that studies suggest may help support both cholesterol levels and circulation in ways that complement everything we've discussed so far. Next, let's talk about garlic. And no, not just for keeping vampires away. I'm talking about keeping your heart strong and your circulation flowing. The research on garlic and cardiovascular health is actually quite remarkable. But here's what most people don't realize. There's a big difference between the garlic you chop up for dinner and the form that researchers have studied most extensively. When you crush fresh garlic, it creates a compound called allicin. That's what gives garlic its strong smell. But allicin breaks down quickly in your body. The studies showing the most impressive heart benefits, they used something called aged garlic extract, which works in a completely different way. Now you might be wondering, why aged garlic? Well, when garlic is aged properly, it develops different compounds that appear to be much more stable and potentially more beneficial for circulation. And the research on this specific form has shown some pretty impressive results for people concerned about their cardiovascular health. Here's what the research tells us about aged garlic extract and heart health. In one significant study, people with uncontrolled blood pressure who took aged garlic extract for 12 weeks saw their numbers drop by an average of 11.5 points on the top number and 6 points on the bottom number. Now, that might not sound huge, but in blood pressure terms, that's actually quite meaningful. Many doctors consider a 5-point reduction clinically significant. But garlic doesn't just work on blood pressure Studies suggest it may also help support healthy cholesterol levels. When researchers looked at multiple trials over several years, they found that people taking garlic preparations saw their total cholesterol drop by about 10%. That's particularly impressive for folks with slightly elevated levels. Here's how it appears to work in your body. Aged garlic extract contains a compound called S-allylcysteine. Unlike the allicin in fresh garlic that breaks down quickly, this compound seems to stick around in your system longer. Research suggests it may help relax your blood vessels, support healthy circulation, and even help with how your platelets function. Think of it like this. If your circulation is a highway system, garlic appears to help keep traffic flowing smoothly. It's not dramatic or immediate, but over weeks and months, many people notice improvements in how they feel. I remember a lovely lady who volunteers at the library, who came to see me a few years ago. She was 69 and really concerned about her family history. Her father had died of a heart attack at 72, and her brother had bypass surgery in his 60s. Her own cholesterol numbers were creeping up, despite eating pretty well and walking regularly. She wasn't quite at the point where her doctor wanted to start medication, but the trend was heading in the wrong direction. She felt like she was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. What really motivated her was wanting to be around for her granddaughter's graduation in a few years. She didn't want to be the grandmother who was too sick to attend important family events. We talked about adding aged garlic extract to her routine, along with some other heart-healthy approaches. She was already taking a baby aspirin as her doctor recommended, so we made sure there wouldn't be any interaction issues. After about 4 months of consistent use, her cholesterol numbers had improved enough that her doctor was pleased. But what she noticed most was feeling less anxious about her heart health. She told me she felt like she was finally doing something proactive, instead of just worrying about her family history. Here's how to get the cardiovascular benefits that research suggests garlic can provide. You have 2 main options, and both can work. If you want to use fresh garlic, here's the key. You need to crush or chop it and let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. This allows the beneficial compounds to form properly. Then use it within the next hour for maximum benefit. For heart health specifically, you'd need about 2 to 3 fresh cloves daily. That's quite a bit. And not everyone's stomach can handle that much fresh garlic. Plus, your family and friends might start avoiding you. That's why many of the studies used aged garlic extract supplements. Look for ones that provide about 1,200 milligrams daily and contain at least 1 milligram of S-allylcysteine. Take it with food to avoid any stomach upset. The beauty of aged garlic extract is that it doesn't give you garlic breath, and it's much gentler on your digestive system. Most people find it easy to take consistently, which is really important for potential benefits. Whether you choose fresh garlic or supplements, consistency matters more than large amounts. The studies showing benefits used moderate amounts taken daily over months, not huge doses taken occasionally. If you enjoy cooking with fresh garlic, try this heart-healthy combination. Crush 2 cloves of garlic and let them sit for 10 minutes. Then sauté gently in extra virgin olive oil over low heat. This creates a flavorful base for vegetables or whole grains. The olive oil helps your body absorb garlic's beneficial compounds. Plus, you get the cardiovascular benefits of good olive oil too. It's like a Mediterranean double dose for your heart. The key with garlic is understanding that preparation and consistency make all the difference. Whether you choose fresh garlic prepared properly or aged garlic extract, research suggests either approach may help support healthy circulation and cholesterol levels. Now, all 3 spices we've covered so far work in different ways. Turmeric targets inflammation, cinnamon supports blood pressure, garlic helps with circulation and cholesterol. But our final spice brings something unique to the table. Let me share what research reveals about ginger and how it may help support your cardiovascular system in a way that perfectly complements everything else we've discussed. Finally, let's explore ginger. This warming spice that's been supporting circulation and reducing inflammation for thousands of years. And what makes ginger particularly interesting is how perfectly it complements the other three spices we've just discussed. While turmeric works on inflammation, cinnamon supports blood pressure, and garlic helps with circulation and cholesterol, ginger brings its own unique set of benefits to your cardiovascular health. Think of it as the final piece that helps tie everything together. What's fascinating about ginger is that it works on multiple levels at once. Research suggests it may help support healthy blood pressure, improve circulation throughout your body, and calm inflammation in your cardiovascular system. It's like having a gentle, warming support system for your heart and blood vessels. The studies on ginger and heart health have involved thousands of people over many years. And what researchers consistently find is that people who include ginger regularly in their diet tend to have better cardiovascular health markers than those who don't. That's the kind of long-term pattern that really gets my attention as a physician. When researchers looked at ginger's effects on blood pressure across multiple studies involving over 4,000 participants, they found some encouraging patterns. People who consumed ginger regularly saw an average reduction of about 6 points in their systolic blood pressure, and just over 2 points in their diastolic pressure. Now, those numbers might seem modest compared to what we saw with garlic, but here's what makes ginger special. It appears to work through completely different mechanisms, which means the benefits may actually add up when you use multiple spices together. Ginger's primary active compounds are called gingerols. These are what give ginger its characteristic warming sensation and its distinctive flavor. Research suggests these gingerols may help support your cardiovascular system in two important ways. First, they appear to have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic inflammation in your blood vessels is like having a low-grade irritation that never quite goes away. Studies suggest ginger may help calm this inflammation naturally. Second, ginger appears to support healthy circulation by helping your blood vessels relax and function more efficiently. Think of it like a gentle massage for your entire circulatory system, helping everything flow more smoothly. What's particularly interesting is that large population studies have found that people who consume ginger regularly have lower rates of both high blood pressure and coronary heart disease. That's the kind of real-world evidence that suggests these benefits translate into actual health outcomes. I remember a gentleman in his 70s who came to see me about 18 months ago. He'd been experiencing what he called sluggish circulation. His hands and feet would get cold easily, and he noticed that his energy would drop significantly in the afternoons. He'd also been having occasional blood pressure spikes when he checked his readings at home. Nothing dangerous, but enough to make him concerned. His cardiologist had mentioned that these kinds of circulation issues are pretty common as we age, and was supportive of trying natural approaches alongside his regular monitoring. This gentleman was already taking a low-dose blood pressure medication and wanted to know if there were dietary approaches that might help support his circulation and overall cardiovascular health. We discussed several options, including adding ginger to his daily routine. He decided to start making fresh ginger tea every morning and adding crystallized ginger to his afternoon snack. He was careful to monitor his blood pressure regularly, since ginger can potentially enhance the effects of blood pressure medications. Over the course of about 3 months, he noticed his afternoon energy was more stable, and his hands didn't get as cold during his morning walks. His blood pressure readings became more consistent too. What pleased him most was feeling like his circulation was more reliable, like his body was working with him instead of against him. Here's how to incorporate ginger for potential cardiovascular support. The research suggests that consistency and proper preparation make all the difference. The studies showing cardiovascular benefits typically use 2 to 4 grams of ginger daily. That's about a 1-inch piece of fresh ginger root, or roughly 1 teaspoon of dried ginger powder. For fresh ginger tea, slice a 1-inch piece of peeled ginger and simmer it in 2 cups of water for 10 to 15 minutes. This makes enough for 2 servings. You can add a slice of lemon and a teaspoon of honey if you like. Many people find this soothing as a morning ritual or afternoon pick-me-up. If you prefer dried ginger, you can add half a teaspoon to smoothies, sprinkle it on oatmeal, or mix it into herbal teas. The key is spreading your intake throughout the day rather than taking it all at once. Fresh ginger can be stored in your refrigerator for up to 3 weeks, or you can freeze peeled pieces in small portions for up to 6 months. This makes it easy to have ginger available whenever you want to use it. Here's something important about ginger and medications. Because ginger may enhance circulation and potentially affect blood clotting, it's crucial to talk with your doctor if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin or newer medications like Eliquis. Ginger may also enhance the effects of blood pressure medications, which could cause your pressure to drop too low. This isn't necessarily dangerous, but it does mean you should monitor your blood pressure more carefully when you first start using ginger regularly. Start with smaller amounts, about half the suggested dose for the first week, and see how your body responds. The key with ginger is understanding that it works gently and gradually to support circulation and manage inflammation. When you combine it with the other 3 spices we've covered, research suggests you're giving your cardiovascular system a comprehensive natural support system. So now you have all 4 pieces: turmeric for inflammation and vessel function, cinnamon for blood pressure support, garlic for circulation and cholesterol, and ginger for circulation and anti-inflammatory benefits. Each one works differently, but together they may provide the kind of comprehensive cardiovascular support that can complement your regular medical care beautifully. So there you have it, 4 kitchen spices that research suggests may genuinely help support your heart health. Remember, this isn't about replacing your medications. It's about giving your body natural tools that may work alongside your regular medical care. Turmeric for inflammation, cinnamon for blood pressure, garlic for circulation, and ginger for that gentle, warming support. Each one brings something different to the table, and together they create a powerful support system. Here's what I recommend you start with. Pick the one spice that sounds most appealing to you right now. Maybe it's adding cinnamon to your morning coffee, or trying that golden milk recipe with turmeric. Start there. Use it consistently for 2 weeks until it feels like a natural part of your routine. Then, once that feels easy, add your second spice. You don't need to do everything at once. I've seen these simple additions help so many people feel more confident about their cardiovascular health. Your body has this incredible ability to respond when you give it the right support through food. These aren't magic bullets, but they're research-backed tools that may help you take an active role in supporting your heart. I'd love to hear which of these 4 spices you're most excited to try. Or if you have questions about getting started safely alongside your current medications.